Harden. Iman, I want to bring you in on this. How much are people sleeping on this Cleveland team and what they could do going down the stretch of the season?
I don't think people are sleeping on the Cavs. I think the Cavs excite everybody. When you look at them on paper, even when you see some of the highlights, it was impressive seeing James Harden come over there with virtually no practice, no real chemistry to go with, and be able to have an immediate impact. You saw right away the bigs got involved. You see right away Jared Allen getting more and more easier touches around the rim. James Harden commands that type of respect. He commands that type of attention. The problem isn't if these two can play together. As you saw Donovan Mitchell say on the interview the other day, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about winning. And if they can keep their focus on winning, they are a scary team for the playoffs. But we all know and have to respect the facts and say, James Harden has historically gotten into playoffs and didn't take care of the ball. If you don't take care of the ball in the playoffs, and when it's time to trade baskets at the end, you don't have somebody that's confident in decision-making where your whole team trusts and is going to ride or die for every decision that you make, it's going to be tough to win in the playoffs, especially with the East getting as good as it's getting at the top.
Yeah. Look, I feel like on paper, you look at this Cavs team and you know they could go far in the playoffs. However, Vinny, I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about this Cavs team possibly winning an NBA title.
For good reason. Let's be honest here.
It's true. I get it.
Look, when you have, and I'm a person that believes Evan Mobley could be Tim Duncan.
Right.
Like, except he's just real slim. He's just skinny. That's all.
I'm not going
to. No,
but I'm not going to say that.
I'm saying the archetype. I'm not saying Tim Duncan being artistry. Relax. But
what greatest power forward in history of basketball. Come on now.
I know what I'm saying.
All right.
Here's what I'm saying about the Cavs. Here's what I'm saying about the Cavs, y'all. Toughness is a question. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are tall men, not big men. Words to my man Bomani Jones who came up with that. When you in the East, you need some girth. You're going up against Stewart and Duran and Karl Towns, who is still a big boy, and Mitchell Robinson, assuming that he's healthy. You need the big bodies up front to control possessions. And here's what needs to be said about James Harden, because Donovan Mitchell is a playoff riser. I legitimately believe that he's a guy that elevates his game during the postseason. James Harden, for all of his longevity, he does not get the credit for the longevity that we give Stephen Curry, that we give LeBron James, that we give Kevin Durant. He is just as old as those dudes, and he is just as effective. Now, maybe not the heights, but as effective. When times get tough in the playoffs, his game goes down. He is not the guy that you're going to say, hey, man, we down 3-2 in the playoff series.
Right.
We need a 40-point game out of you tonight. History has said you're more likely to get a 7-turnover game in a closeout game or a 5-for-18 game in a closeout game. So for me to believe in the Cavs, they were just going to have to show me and buck toughness. Because you can maybe do some stuff in the West. In the East, you got to win with some toughness.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not sleeping on the Cavs. And the reason we can't sleep on the Cavs is because of the greatness of James Harden and the fact that you have two dudes in the backcourt that got something to prove. Donovan Mitchell, to me, is a superstar caliber player.
Yes.
I love Donovan Mitchell. I don't give a damn that Jalen Brunson is here. I've always wanted Donovan Mitchell in a New York Knicks uniform. And
I want everybody. Who do you not want in the New York Knicks uniform?
You know what?
Lord.
Yeah, I want everybody.
The 1994 Eastern Conference All-Star team.
Trying to get an NBA title. Trying to get an NBA title.
It's totally true. Look, the beggars can't be choosy. I want them all. I want everybody. Damn, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't apologizing for it. Iman, no, that's how I love Iman. How happy. I mean, the first time Iman met me, how big was the smile on my face because you was a New York Knick coming out of Georgia Tech. Come on, dog. I've always had you because that man's a New York Knick to me. I don't give a damn where he won a championship. I don't give a damn where else he played. That man was in a New York Knicks uniform. You're in a New York Knicks uniform. You all right with me, okay? Let's be real. If you can play. Scrubs in a New York Knicks uniform, I'm pissed at you. I don't like you. But if you can play and you're in a New York Knicks uniform, we good. Here's the deal, y'all. Somebody needs to look into the camera and tell James Harden this. Everybody brings up his performances in terms of how anemic he has played in big game situations. James Harden, I hope you're watching. Here's what you need to understand. You are one of the greatest scorers in the history of basketball. The reason why people go at you is because we know how great you are. It's not because you ain't great. It's because you have been great. We've seen you've been great. And it's not that you averaging 13.8 points in the last 4 Game 7s. It's not that you're shooting 27% from the field in the last Game 7s, those last 4 Game 7s, or 17% from three-point range in those last 4 Game 7s. It's the fact that you didn't even attempt to make noise. How you in a Game 7 against Denver last year and you only attempt 8 shots? This is James Harden. This is a career 24-point per game scorer.
You got to go down swinging.
Now, if you go down swinging, damn, you just don't have it. But when you don't attempt the shots, that's tantamount to quitting in our eyes because we know that man could get his shot off anytime he wants to. There is no explanation to anybody that has a modicum of knowledge about basketball as to why James Harden is attempting 8 or 9 shots in any game, let alone a playoff game of that magnitude, because he's that great. You have Hall of Fame numbers. There are people who are first ballot Hall of Famers that don't have James Harden's numbers. He is great. And oh, by the way, can play point. Yeah. Okay? This brother ain't just a scorer. This brother knows how to distribute. He knows how to set up. He knows how to run a show. He's an interchangeable part. Here's where it gets interesting. James Harden, I hope you're watching. Russell Westbrook was your teammate. Kevin Durant was your teammate, not once, but twice. Chris Paul was your teammate. Kyrie Irving was your teammate. You look at the slew of players. This brother, James Harden, has played with Dwight Howard, the list goes on and on. There is no ring to show for it with your greatness. See, that's not insulting. That's speaking facts, not feelings, and saying from an emotional perspective, yo, bro, you deserve better for you. Because you're that great. All-timer.
Yes.
When we talk about all-time great scorers, you talk about MJ, you talk about Kobe and people like that. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand that James Harden is in that conversation? From the point guard spot, you tell me how many times this brother averaged over 30? Yeah. How many times was he pulling up from the H-Town? You should love him forever with what this brother did. Not to the level of Olajuwon, but nevertheless, that's what he brings. No ring to show for it.
His greatness requires that.
No championship appearance outside of the time you were a reserve in Oklahoma City. You pushed Golden State with KD, Clay, and Steph to a Game 7. Chris Paul's hurt. I know it. I thought you would have lost that game, but you possibly could have won it. But that's when y'all went for 0 for 27 from 3.
Yeah.
And you got to step up and handle your business. That's why people are questioning the Cavs. Because Donovan Mitchell, say what you want. I don't want to hear anything about Donovan Mitchell. He's had great games, and then he has not so great games. But he always shows up. It's just that sometimes it works for him and sometimes it don't. He don't sit up there and leave bullets in the chamber. That brother's shooting for it.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
James Harden is not shooting for it. There's evidence. We've got at least 6-7 games where you're looking at the numbers, and it's like he didn't even attempt to play. And you're like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. With his greatness, that is unacceptable. We know how great James Harden is. And I want James Harden, I know you great. I know you a future Hall of Famer. But my brother, we talking championships. You got to show up. Yeah. He got to show up.
Yeah, the Cavaliers 10-1 in their last 11 games, so they're on a roll coming out of the All-Star break. All right, let's switch gears here. Civil rights giant and protege of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Jesse Jackson, died early this morning. Jackson, who was a 2-time presidential candidate, dedicated his life to justice, equality, and human rights. He also was a standout athlete on the football field, playing quarterback at North Carolina A&T, and an avid supporter of sports icons like Muhammad Ali, and more recently, Colin Kaepernick and LeBron James, who used their platforms to enact change in the black community. Reverend Jesse Jackson was 84 years old. Stephen A., obviously everyone feeling the effects of this, but your reaction to this news?
It's a very sad day. An iconic figure and a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, on nothing but love for him. A man that I knew, that I communicated with periodically throughout the years, that has been an inspiration to the black community for a very, very long time. Obviously a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., cared about equality, cared about civil rights, was a pioneer, was a fighter, was a warrior on behalf of our community and America as a whole. Obviously a two-time presidential candidate, came in third place in '84, came in second place in '88 for the Democratic nomination for the United States of America. Think about what Barack Obama ultimately achieved and ask yourself, would that have been possible had that not been paved? That way had not been paved by the likes of a Jesse Jackson. And so, you know, obviously a huge sports fan, was at a lot of sporting events. That's where I saw him most of the time, and you knew that his health was challenging, to say the least, and what have you. It's just a very, very sad day, but yet and still a day to celebrate a great man who cared about us as a community, who cared about us as a people, and who fought on behalf of us. A lot of people, there's a lot of cynics out there, and they can point to a lot of things, but I can tell you this much. If you are a member of the black community, you have far more appreciation for Reverend Jesse Jackson than you do any kind of criticism you can throw in his direction, because in the end, he fought for us. And you definitely appreciate that. All of us, we can't live forever, and we know that, but I still, speaking on behalf of many, many, many people, you still find yourself sitting here today and saying to yourself, going too soon. You wish that he was still around. You wish that he was healthy. You wish that he was vibrant and being in a position to educate us and edify us in ways that helps uplift our community. So it's an incredibly sad day. I'm sad for his family. I'm sad for, you know, the fraternity. I'm sad rather for a lot of black folks out there who knew him, loved him, cherished him, appreciated him, and all the great things that he did. And God rest his soul. And thanks to him for so many things that a lot of people outside of our community would never realize.
Yeah, just a very sad day, but a legacy that will last forever. Jesse Jackson, a civil rights icon and leader, was 84 years old. More First Take after the break.